college basketball, a world of triumph, passion, and the dreams of young athletes. But beneath the surface lies a story of deception, fraud, and betrayal, one that shocked the NCAA to its core. Hi everyone, I'm Lou Colonna, the internet's busiest book nerd, and today we're going to talk about Hot Dog Money by Guy Lawson and reviewing it. It's a story about college basketball and one of the biggest scandals they've had, which caused Marty Blazer, an undercover agent, to get in underneath the world of college basketball and really defraud it. Let's break down some rhetorical constructs that makes the book so great. But to understand why the story matters, let me really set the stage first. Marty Blazer wasn't just any financial advisor. He managed the fortunes of high-profile NFL players, flying on private jets and mingling with celebrities like Jay-Z and Beyonce. But when the federal government caught him defrauding his clients, Blazer flipped the script, offering the feds an even bigger scandal, a multi-billion-dollar conspiracy with the NCAA. As a college basketball fan, the story kind of hits home to me. I'm used to watching Penn State basketball every single day, and it's just a big story to me, and I'm just really interested in the book. First, Lawson's use of diction during the story really draws us into the high-stakes world. He doesn't just describe his players and coaches, he paints vivid pictures. For instance, when introducing Mike D'Angelo, a key figure in the story, Lawson writes that Mike had a bowl cut, and he was usually unshaven and badly dressed in short-sleeved shirt, khaki shorts, and sneakers in the summer. The concrete details make the characters and settings come alive, and anchoring readers into reality of Blazer's world. And he does this for all of his characters, which is very impressive as a book reader who reads books so often. And when I'm reviewing books, I really look for that, and he does a great job at it, Lawson does. Next, he really does build ethos well and establishes Blazer's credibility as a financial advisor. Despite his moral failings, Blazer's connections to influential athletes and celebrities highlight his insider status. I mean, he was getting all his guys to all these Miami nightclubs, getting them all the money they could, and nobody knew that he was defrauding his clients behind the scenes, and that was a pretty good job by him, and crazy to see the extent of how far the corruptness of the NCAA goes just with Blazer himself. And Blazers one of the notes Lawson makes is when he talks about Larry Johnson Jr., a Penn State running back who eventually went on to play for the Kansas City Chiefs, and how Blazer could get him anywhere. And Larry Johnson Jr. is hanging out with celebrities like Beyonce and Jay-Z, and the player was flying private from New York to LA on exclusive NetJets planes. By emphasizing Blazer's access to the elite, Lawson shows readers why the FBI trusts him to infiltrate the NCAA's inner circle. Logos also plays a significant role in the story, as Lawson meticulously outlines the facts of Blazer's crimes in the broader NCAA conspiracy. From forged signatures to bribery schemes, the story is packed with evidence. One example reads, Blazer was ashamed of the terrible decisions he'd made for the years. The movie Mafia, which was a movie he tried to invest a lot of football players' monies in because he really believed it could work and it could be a shot at fame for him. He ended up taking money from players' bank accounts, and they finally caught on when usually those players weren't smart enough to look in their bank accounts. One of those players was Russell Okung, who ended up being a really smart player who actually invested in Bitcoin in 2017 and turned his $60 million contract into $1 billion, which is pretty impressive. Looks like he picked the wrong guy, to be honest. And then forged signatures. I mean, he was signing every paper just to try to get all this money for this movie that really wasn't going to work. And I'll continue with the quote now. The forged signatures, it was all too much. These details build a logical case for the depth of corruption, leaving no room for doubt about the gravity of the situation. But the story isn't just facts. Lawson tugs at our heartstrings with pathos, of course, showing the emotional toll on Blazer and those around him. A moment is when Blazer is undercover and trying to get in with the coaches, specifically Merrill Code from Adidas, and the FBI obviously wants to see what Adidas is doing corrupt, right? So they go to Las Vegas together, and at this point, they're finally just in one meeting with him on a Friday night, but the FBI wants to extend that because they're having fun in Vegas, all right? And Lawson writes here, Blazer's main concern was having his meeting with Merrill Code the following night so he could fly home first thing Saturday morning, in time to have an evening with his wife and kids. The FBI agents, however, pushed to move the meeting back a day. It's a humanizing moment, revealing the personal sacrifices behind the public scandal he had to make so that he didn't have to go to jail. He could get probation for 1 year like he ended up getting. In the end, Marty Blazer's story is more than just a scandal. It's a cautionary tale about ambition, integrity, and the cost of deception. Lawson's uses of diction, ethos, logos, pathos, and soapstone is one of those reasons why it's just an incredible story and plays a compelling narrative to force his readers and fans to confront uncomfortable truths about the sports industry. Obviously, college basketball is very different today with NIL, where players can just be paid at any time. And they had to do it because NCAA couldn't keep track of all these transactions. And at the end of the day, I think I'm going to rate feeling a late to decent 9 on this book. It was a great book, and I'm really happy with the way I read it. It's going to rank highly on my top 2024 lists. Thank you all for watching, and please vote for me.